Loneliness has followed me my whole life, everywhere.
Things got you down?
Yeah,
Happens to the best of
yeah, it got me real down, real down.
The movie Taxi Driver is a love letter to people suffering from loneliness and internal conflict, where it follows an insomniac taxi driver named Travis Bickle who navigates the seedy underbelly of society in 70s New York City. Haunted by the memories of the Vietnam War and isolation, this spirals him into a pattern of obsession and violence, all while he tries to become both a savior and a destroyer in his own fractured mind. I found myself relating to Travis, especially when it came to loneliness and internal struggle. Loneliness is no stranger in my life. Ever since I was a kid, I never fit in anywhere, whether it was playing with other kids or now as an adult relating to my now peers. I had this discussion with my mom a while back, and she said the problem is I wasn't relatable. I don't party, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, never have, and I'm very ambitious in the things I want to do. In short, I have a clear path of what I want, which is contrary to today's generation. Then comes my love life. My love life has been nothing short of a shit show. From being led on, then told it's not you, it's me, cheated on, where a girl comes and smiles in your face as if you're the only man who makes her happy. It's nothing new to me. I've been lied to, stabbed in the back, heartbroken, and guess what? None of them gave a damn. As much as I longed to be loved, to be adored, to belong to someone, and someone to belong to me, I never got it. It was so frustrating that I would meet people in my life who made me happy and they would either be ripped away from me or stab me in the back first chance they got. I developed hatred and depression so severe that I became jealous. Jealous of the other people who were experiencing the happiness I longed for. And so, I isolated myself. They had a functional supportive friend group. I was alone. They had someone to share the end of their day with. I had my pillow to cry into every night. This does something to you. It breaks you. Your spirit, your mind, your heart. Loneliness slowly destroys you from the inside. In the beginning of the movie, we see Travis get a job as a taxi driver. The reason behind it was because he was suffering from insomnia and...
Well, I just want to work long hours.
Something I learned through my days of loneliness is that as much as lonely people feel unwanted and discarded, we prefer the solitude. The statement most lonely people use, me included, is that we don't need anybody. But in real sense, we do. We want friends, we want family, we want a life partner. However, the solitude gives us time to think, actually overthink, and most importantly, judge others who are either doing better than us socially, or B, judge them so we can fill the void we have by feeling morally superior. If you have a hard time understanding this, think of Elliot Rodger.
And look at these douchebags right here. These assholes, these obnoxious little slobs. Those are the kind of guys that girls like, instead of magnificent gentlemen like myself.
Travis does the same thing on his long night drives as he pinpoints all the evil people who roam the streets at night. And after that, in his words, he says,
Someday a real rain will come and wash all this scum off the streets.
Does this sound familiar?
I hate all of you. Humanity is a disgusting, wretched, depraved species. If I had it in my power, I would stop at nothing to reduce every single one of you to mountains of skulls and rivers of blood.
From his words, you can feel a sense of hopelessness, anger, frustration, due to the fact that evil and degeneracy walks the streets and is worshipped, and Vietnam veterans such as himself are overlooked, discarded as they battle loneliness, PTSD, all while trying to rejoin society. Look at it this way. This is a Vietnam vet who served his country.
Honorable discharge, May 1973.
But now, he lives alone with the scars of war, wiping sexual fluid off the back of his taxi. Then there's rejection, which hurts a lot. In fact, most of us take it personally, especially if you're lonely. You think there's something wrong with you, or you're inadequate. As many times as you put yourself out there, just like Travis in this scene, you'll be rejected. Travis, however, did take it well, but hey, if you're struggling with rejection, check out this video I made on the one cure to rejection, no BS. Fun fact, I actually made that video a couple of hours after being rejected myself. The card is in the right hand corner and a link will be in the description too. Lonely people need to numb their demons. This could be done in a variety of ways, from drugs and alcohol, junk food, self-harm, crying, and the most common since the introduction of the digital age, adult content, or what I like to call Pleasure Island. Everything from the hub to OnlyFans and webcam sites that are holding lonely men and women hostage, of course. For most lonely people, this all happens in solitude, as most are ashamed of their actions. Travis, on the other hand, lives in the 70s, and the only way to get this sort of entertainment is through a movie theater that shows these explicit films. He's also a heavy drinker, a high consumer of junk food, and so he lives a very unhealthy lifestyle that keeps him in a negative cycle. As a lonely person myself, just like good old Travis Bickle, I pedestalized a woman. We all tend to do that. I thought she was great, a queen among women, and that she could do no wrong. And me being in her presence alone was nothing short of a blessing that the good Lord would bless me with. I thought sometimes I wasn't even worthy to stand near her. I was obsessed, and I had to have her in my life to fill that gap in my soul because I thought to myself that if I could just get her, all my problems would just vanish, they would go away. See, Travis had the same problem in his search for purpose. He thought that by having Betsy, all his problems would just vanish, but in reality, they didn't. He treated her nice, took her on a date, bought her a Chris Christopherson record, then he takes her to one of his pastimes, which is an adult movie. Betsy is so repulsed by this, and to Travis, he's so desensitized and out of touch with reality that he thinks his actions are a normal thing. Betsy cuts him off, she doesn't accept his gifts or return his calls, and this drives Travis back to the gulag of loneliness. Just like anyone who thought they had a shot with a girl they obsessed over, and first chance she gets, she drops you like a hot potato. Hurts, doesn't it? He's not only losing his purpose, but also his obsession, something that he used to numb the pain of being lonely, and now he has to go back to his mundane life. It gets him down, and when he goes to confront her, he now classifies Betsy as,
Look, come on! You're in a hell, and you're gonna die in a hell like the rest of them. Come on now, there's a cop across the street. You're like the rest of them. Look,
which is so relatable to anyone who has gone through separation or heartbreak. We demonize them regardless of whether they did it in a mature or a non-mature way. Travis then talks to one of his fellow cab drivers, Wizard, as he tries to open up about his current setbacks and the state of his shattered life.
Things got you down?
Yeah.
Happens to the best of them.
Yeah, it got me real down.
He also very briefly shares his negative thoughts.
I got some bad ideas in my head.
The conversation really was a complete waste of time according to Travis, and I couldn't agree with him more. From what I got, Wizard was advocating ignorance and conforming to what society throws at you. You see, what I've learned about loneliness is that there will always be a point in time where we cry for help or try to open up. Some will ask, why are you lonely? Is it childhood abandonment issues, lack of friends, trauma? To which, as a lonely person myself, I couldn't answer. However, we all know that one person like Wizard in our life who we've gone to for help, but instead he gives us the whole,
Don't worry so much. Relax, killer, you're gonna be all right.
And the famous,
Yeah, you know, you're all right.
However, we shouldn't blame them. You see, most people don't have a clue of what they're doing in life, and they also have their own problems, hence not being able to relate to ours, or lacking solutions entirely. So if you don't find help, you continue to self-destruct, or live your life in
quiet desperation,
or choose other paths. Now what? There are three directions you can take. 1, you could continue to be bitter and depressed and lonely, or 2, you could improve the quality of your life. However, there's a catch. When I recently got cheated on, I had this strong urge to do a couple of things. One is revenge, but unlike Travis, without getting anyone hurt. In my head, change and success were the best forms of revenge. I also felt a strong urge to punish myself, like join the military and get into the front lines of battle. Okay. By a show of hands, how many people join the military after getting their hearts broken? Leave it in the comment section below. Or do push-ups till I puke, or take cold showers and chant, "No pain." I had an urge to go through more pain than I felt emotionally. I also felt like doing something big that would vindicate my pain, my loneliness. Maybe this is what Travis meant when he said,
Just want to go out and like really do something.
On my end, it was getting my channel to over 100K, working out and building a good physique because I heard the girl who cheated on me called me a bitch. Let's just say those words and 4 months of being on a dedicated workout program can do wonders. This might sound good, but the goal is to prove someone else wrong, not to improve yourself, to seek validation from someone who never cared about you in the first place. It works, but not long term. You need to adjust your focus on why you're doing what you're doing as you continue to heal, because eventually the hate will fade and you'll lack the drive to keep on going, and you'll give up and go back to being depressed, lonely, and uninspired. Like I said, loneliness plays the long game, so be mindful of that. So don't hurt anyone, including yourself. Don't focus too much on who you want to prove wrong, but who you want to become. That's how I personally adjusted my mentality. The urge you feel after a setback or a heartbreak, or you just being tired of being broken and lonely, is just an urge to change, so use it wisely. Don't let it use you wisely. The third and last thing is being a superhero. Makes no sense, but this is the most stupid of them all, and also the most dangerous of them all, and also the most common of them all. We look for someone to save because we're trying to fill the emptiness inside us, the loneliness inside us. So instead of saving ourselves, which we consider as too hard or impossible, so we decide to save others, and mostly it's usually a romantic interest, a friend, a family member, or worse, a complete stranger. I once tried to save someone from themselves, but at the time I didn't know I was trying to heal my own wounds by healing hers. It was not only emotionally tasking because she never wanted to be saved in the first place and she loved her lifestyle, but it was also like shooting myself in the foot then complaining that someone shot me. Why? Because I never learned anything. I wasted a bunch of time. I never gained anything. My problem, my traumas, my issues were still there. And I ended up getting more problems by getting hurt and emotionally abused. As a matter of fact, I was in that so-called relationship alone. Name me a lonelier feeling than that. From what I saw from Travis deciding to save Iris, Travis sees this as a degenerate thing for a young girl to do, so he decides to save her by giving her money to relocate to a commune in Vermont. This is a noble thing to do. However, he was using her to vindicate himself after his plan to assassinate Palantine failed. He decided to go end the lives of Sport the Pimp and his associates, which leads to a gunfight that ends with Travis killing 3 people, himself getting shot in the neck and the arm, killing the owner of the brothel in front of Iris, traumatizing her in the process, and attempting to end his own life unsuccessfully, which shows he knew all his efforts of dealing with his issues were null and void, and he would rather die than live another day being himself or facing the repercussions of his actions. Some time passed and Travis is later classified as a hero for saving Iris. The movie ends where it started, back in Travis's taxi as he drove Betsy to her home. What did Travis learn? Nothing. What issues did he address apart from Iris's? None. So it's only a matter of time before he goes back to his old ways. I asked my therapist about loneliness and she said it's normal for us human beings to crave love and affection, and it's how we go about getting it that's the problem. Regardless of how much self-love you have, you will always need people in your life. So don't look down on yourself from suffering from loneliness and embrace it as a challenge to deal with your trauma and abandonment issues. I would like to say this: lonely people in general are their own biggest enemy. Just like Travis, who lived a poor lifestyle, then complained that his life sucked. He did everything but addressed his issues head on, and hence him running in circles. We often do the same. We give up on ourselves, then we go ahead and blame the world for the shitty situation we're in, because it's easy. It's easy to be drunk, it's easy to be bitter and angry. Travis would live a very poor lifestyle and complain he lived a poor lifestyle, even though he had the money to live a healthier, more productive lifestyle, which we tend to also do because we don't give ourselves any grace. Start to give yourself some grace, man. A chance to try to be happy. I started to give myself some grace, a chance to try to be happy by going to therapy to address my trauma and putting myself out there with an open mind to meet new people while maintaining high levels of self-respect. So remember, people are not the problem. You're your biggest enemy. Thanks for watching, and if you would like to see how Cars 3 taught me about change, check out the video on the screen. And as always, remember to keep tracking, fam.